Thanks for tuning into the Urban Scope podcast. Uh, this section, I'll be kind of talking about my predictions for the upcoming NBA season. So next week, the NBA season starts. There's a lot of different storylines as usual every year. For a side note, so far this is projected to be the last year for the NBA on TNT with Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Ernie Smith. So it's kind of sad, a bittersweet moment because, like I said, as far as I've been watching basketball, I've always watched the NBA on TNT, and I've enjoyed it. So I'm not looking forward to them going away. I think it's still pending legal action to keep the NBA on TNT because Amazon outbidded them. Well, they didn't outbid them, but they matched the offer. So So as far as it stands now, Amazon has the rights to the NBA games, and in my opinion, it'll make it more difficult for the typical fan or for most fans to view the games because you would have to sign up for an Amazon Prime account, watch it through Amazon Prime, and like I said, everyone's TVs don't have access to Amazon Prime, so they'll be watching through a phone or some kind of other source. So the NBA on TNT is definitely needed, and Amazon, like I said, they already have a hand in football and the NFL season. I think they're trying to get their hands in college football as well. So they're kind of trying to take over the game, but I think NBA on TNT, their ratings and the awards they won, and they just got new contracts just a few years ago. But I'm on a tangent, so I want to get into my NBA preview for the 2024 to 2025 season. So I'll kind of go through each team's kind of my concerns for each team, which in general it's the same thing with health, but it's other factors as well. And I'll kind of make my predictions for the championship and for the ultimate champion. I think who will take home the crown this year. So I'll start off with the Eastern Conference. So I'll start off with the Celtics. Like I said, they have a very strong core. They're returning champions from last year. They're returning, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, and Derek White. And they're coming off, three of them are coming off, minus Jaylen Brown, coming off the Olympics gold medal win. So I think Jaylen Brown, with his snub from the Olympic team, I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder as he always has. He was, in my opinion, the better player of the four last year. It's usually debatable between him and Jason Tatum, but I think he has even more of a chip on his shoulder this year after what happened with the Olympics and the whole Nike debacle. I think he will have a chip on his shoulder this year. But my only concern about them this year is just mostly complacency. Usually when you win an NBA championship, sometimes you might take a step back. You might think, hey, we won it this year. We can just roll the ball out and we can win. But it doesn't work that way. You have a target on your back now as the champions, and everybody's going to bring their best shot every week to beat you. Because even if they don't win but 5 games, they can say, "Oh, well, we beat the champions from last year." So you have to watch it when you just won a championship. Like I said, you have a target on your back, and it gets more difficult as you try to repeat and repeat. So that's the only issue I have with the Celtics. And then the Knicks is another team I think that'll make the playoffs this year. They have Karl Anthony Towns, and they have Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart. The issue with them is I just think just trying to get the chemistry right, and can they get the chemistry right in time to make a run in the playoffs? Even with the chemistry issues, I think they might have. I think they'll figure it out close towards the end of the season or like after the All-Star break. But like I said, adding Karl Anthony Towns, who's not a true big man, but he is a big man, but he can shoot the three. He can, put the ball on the floor. So I think that will be the spreading the spreading of the offense will be kind of an issue for them as well. They don't have a dominant postman anymore, like after they traded Randall. So it's going to be a lot of changes. But like I said, the Nova Knicks, they still have the players with the chemistry from Villanova, and I just think their only issue will be chemistry and trying to see if they can get the chemistry in time. So um, that's the second team I have in the playoffs, and I don't have them in order. I'm just picking the 8 teams I think that'll make it after the um, play-in tournament. The New York Knicks, I have second. So then third, I had 76ers with Embiid, Maxey, and with the addition of Paul George. I think their issue will be health because Paul George has had knee problems and leg problems pretty much his whole career. Embiid has had several different ailments as far as injuries go, so he's always an injury risk. And like I said, being that size that he is, it will be difficult for him to stay healthy unless he drops, some of the weight and figure out how to play a certain way to avoid the injury. Maxey really hasn't had that many injuries. He might have a hamstring or something, I think, in the past, but for the most part, he's the youngest player on the team. Well, youngest star player on the team, and I think like I said, I think he'll be pretty durable for the season. Then I had the Miami Heat, which pretty much just has Jimmy Butler. But like I said, I have so much respect for Jimmy Butler that I think his will alone get the team to the playoffs. But like I said, my only concern for the Miami Heat is just a lack of depth. Um, Next, I had the Indiana Pacers, who I think just are youthful, and still have a little ways to go. And their concern might be a little health, as Tyrese Halliburton went out last year, and I think they were doing very good against the Celtics until he went down, and they kind of they were competitive, but they were just overmatched with the depth from the Boston Celtics. So that's my only concern with the Pacers, really. And the Cavaliers, I think my concern for them is just a lack of talent. You have Mitchell and Garland. Garland's fairly young. Mitchell's towards probably the back end of his career, still playing pretty good. But like I said, I think they're just a lack of talent or continuity will be eventually their downfall. And I had lastly the Magic, which is Paolo Banchero and the crew. I think they're just youthful as well. Like I said, I think they are probably a couple of years away and maybe a couple of pieces away, veteran leadership wise, to get to make a deep playoff run. So that's all the playoff teams I have in the East. In the West, I have the Suns, which I think their problem will be consistency and health. They really need a point guard and need leadership as far as the team goes. Like I said, Kevin Durant is a good player, but he shows by example, not by leadership. When you think about it, he had Russell Westbrook and he had Draymond Green, the leaders of the team who weren't per se the best players on the team, but they were able to bring the troops together and have a voice. He's more a quiet leader, show by example. So, like I said, for the Suns, I think it's consistency and health, and they'll prevent them. And next for the West, I have the Grizzlies, who I think, as long as they cut down on the off court distractions and just pretty much health. So like I said, John Morant has had health issues. He had that same kind of style Russell Westbrook had early in his career, like attack the basket, smaller guys but were powerful and had the vertical leap. But sometimes, like I said, that takes a toll on the body. So it'll be interesting to see if he adjusts his game a little bit more so he can stay on the court more, or will he still stay the same way? Because, like I said, Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook had those same styles, and it was very difficult for them to keep up with that. So that's one of the things I think they need to work on as far as a team. And the Timberwolves, I think, is chemistry and just being able to score enough points. Other than the points they get from Anthony Edwards, they had the addition of Julius Randle, and DiVincenzo. So I think those guys are bringing some experience to the team that they need. Like I said, they had a lot of youth, and they still have a lot of youth. But those guys bring some veteran leadership, I think, and I think Julius Randle, if he learns how to play within the system and kind of plays a little bit more efficient and able to, not turn over the ball as much. And just, I think that'll help them a lot. But like I said, they'll go as far as Anthony Edwards takes them, which we'll see what happens this year. The New Orleans Pelicans, like I said, that health theme again. Last year they had injuries to Zion Williamson, which he's pretty much been hurt every year. He's never played a full season yet. And then they had Brandon Ingram. He had like an injury last year. So, and then with McCollum coming back as well, they have a very good team. But like I said, they're a smaller team, I want to say, because Zion is playing like the 4 and the 5, and he's only 6'6", and the point guard is like 6'2". So they're a smaller team, but they're very talented. They can scare most teams in the playoffs. So like I said, health is going to determine how far they make it throughout the playoffs this upcoming year. The Lakers, my thing is just age with them in production. Like I said, LeBron and Anthony Davis are getting a little bit longer in the tooth. Can they actually get over the hump this year and actually stay healthy enough to withstand a long playoff run? Their Achilles heel's been, the Nuggets over the last couple of years. So can they avoid the Nuggets, or can they get over the, hump when it comes to facing the Nuggets? But like I said, they have an older team, and like they got to figure chemistry out. They got new pieces, and said, just LeBron is in his dotage at this time, so he probably only has like a year or two left. Well, we keep saying it every year, and he keeps playing, so we'll see how far they go this year. And then the Nuggets, chemistry issues and consistency as well. Luka has not been the best health-wise, so he's had injuries. So if he can stay on the court, and then Kyrie, he's been doing good with cutting down the distractions over the last couple of years since he's been in Dallas. So hopefully he can keep that up. And with the addition of Klay Thompson, will Klay Thompson be able to be efficient enough and be productive enough to get them to where they need to go? So if Klay, can give them that 17 to 20 points a game, maybe 3 or 4 games, averaging 3 or 4 3 points a game. I think last year they would have been able to beat the Celtics and make the series more competitive. So hopefully, he can adjust to the new team. Like I said, he has a lot to prove with the Warriors not being able to pay him what he wanted, and him having to go to a whole nother city. And he openly said he wanted to retire as a Warrior, but due to the business, he couldn't finish where he wanted to finish. So that'll be interesting to see this year. And then lastly, in the West, I have the Nuggets. Like I said, health is their thing, and just being able to be confident and feel like they can still do it. They won the championship 2 years ago, but last year it didn't go so well against a younger Minnesota Timberwolves team. I think they'll be able to have a chip on their shoulders, and I think they'll have minimal much distractions this year. Like I said, unfortunately, Michael Porter Jr.'s brother got sentenced in the case, and another brother got kicked out of the league for gambling. So they had a lot of distractions last year, and I think it affected his game a little bit. I think he'll be more focused this year and be able to be more productive than he was last year. And Jamal Murray, if he can just duplicate what he did 2 years ago when they won the championship, he was clutch shot. Every time they needed a shot, he would do it, or if they needed a pass, or if they need another shot, they can get it from Jokic. So I think if they can spread the production out from just Jokic and Murray, and if those other guys can step up, there'll be a problem in the West and in the championship. So for the finals, I had the Celtics and Nuggets. I think the Nuggets will win that series 4-2. I just think the Nuggets, like I said, are a superior team to most of the teams in the league. Like I said, I got them repeating, and Jokic winning his second MVP, Finals MVP, and then the Nuggets winning their second championship. So, give me your predictions for the championship this year in the NBA. Like I said, it starts next week, October 22nd. I'll be tuned in. So let me know what your thoughts are for your champion for next year, and I'll see you next time.